dangerous and how serious this is. So I think this is just one step in the process. I'm not cheering yet.
Nick?
I think the most important thing right now is making sure that these cases get to trial immediately, both in Georgia and both in the District of Columbia. We've got a hearing set up for Monday before Judge Chutkan. She's going to set a trial date. I'm hoping that it's going to be January, February. We also have an issue with the trial date in Georgia. We have Mr. Cheeseborough asking for a speedy trial. Normally, with a multi-defendant case like that, that gets tagged to everybody. The judge at this point has said that at this time, it only relates to Mr. Cheeseborough. So the question is whether the DA is going to move to have the entire case put on in October, or in some way this is going to be put over beyond, even despite the invocation of the Speedy Trial Act. But under Georgia, it's pretty strict that if they don't go at a certain time, after he puts in his notice of speedy trial, it's an automatic acquittal. And the problem here is that the DA cannot be forced to try this case twice.
Yeah, and just briefly, you're explaining the strategy by some defendants is not necessarily that they really want the fastest trial possible, but that they know there's a sanction there that could be what we would normally just call kind of a loophole. They're afforded to that under the law, so it's not a bad loophole in the eyes of the way the Georgia laws are written, but a loophole, no?
Well, it's a loophole in the sense that they're trying to make it look like Mr. Cheeseborough wants his speedy trial rights, when in fact, I'm sure he's been put up to it by the other defendants. They all talk. They all have, I'm sure they have a joint defense agreement. And this is not something that was dreamed out of thin air.
No, but it's important because you're teaching us, you're reminding people of how there's more than one reason why you do it. It's when someone says, oh, here's my motion for speed, their motion right really be for, I hope they fail and we get bailed out. I really appreciate you being our leadoff guest. Nick Akerman here with me. In our newsroom, Jason Johnson calling it in and sharing some of his concerns as well as what we take from this big week. Thanks to both of you guys. Governor Howard Dean, the former DNC chair, is here tonight. He's coming up. We also have the Trump arrest highlighting disparities in the jail system, something we want to make sure to focus on. But first,